Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is my Thanksgiving food prep and serving and cleanup from Thanksgiving. We hosted two Thanksgivings. On Thanksgiving Day, we hosted my family at lunch and his family for dinner. I've already posted a video going through the timeline of how to plan a perfect Thanksgiving so you're not rushed, you're not stressed, you don't have to wake up early. So definitely check that one out. In this video, I'm just going through everything I made and I'll give you the timing on all of it. So to start, we have potatoes going for mashed potatoes. And then I also have my gravy. I always make my gravy ahead of time, so I'm not actively cooking when I have guests over. There is one appetizer that cannot be cooked ahead, so I am making that as people are coming, but that is the only thing. So for the timing of everything, typically, I will make stuff that I know can be cooked ahead of time, put in the fridge, and then reheated without losing its integrity, like its structural integrity. So it's still going to have the bite you want. It's not going to taste warmed up. For instance, you know how sometimes if you cook chicken and then you put it in the fridge and then you have it again the next day, when you cook it, you can tell you're eating reheated chicken. That's not what we go for here. So I always agree to make things that I know can be cooked ahead of time. Now, Luke smoked a turkey for his families. That obviously could not be cooked ahead of time. So he did start that after we ate lunch with my family. He just started it kind of in the background of what was going on. And I did have people say like, how weird you wouldn't just have one Thanksgiving with everyone. That is actually extremely strange to me because my family's was like 40 people. His family, it was just his parents and his sister's family. So 6 adults and all of just our kids, which is, I have 3, they have 2, so 5 kids. Like, could you imagine them coming to a Thanksgiving 4 times the size and you only know like a handful of people? Why on earth would they want to do that? I felt like that was such a bizarre thing to say. Like, why would you assume that his family knows my family and vice versa? Like, they know some of them, but they definitely don't know everybody. I don't know. I just felt like that was so strange. So no, that would never be a possibility. I would never subject his family to my large, crazy Thanksgiving. And my large, crazy Thanksgiving is already large and crazy enough. We don't need any more bodies. Not that they would provide any craziness at all. They're very mellow people, but I'm just saying, like, how strange to assume that. I mean, we're not the same. We didn't grow up in the same towns or any, I don't know. It was just a very strange comment that I got when I talked about having 2 Thanksgivings. So what are your thoughts on that? I would be really interested to know, like, do your in-laws know each other well? Would they want to host? If they're all coming for your child's birthday, okay, that makes perfect sense, right? They're all the child's family. This is Thanksgiving where they aren't related. It just seems very, very strange to me. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. I would love to hear. So I am minimalish, which means I don't have stuff that I don't own stuff that I'm not going to be using regularly. So as you can see, I've already made 1 batch of mashed potatoes and I've put that aside to cool. And then I cleaned out my pan and I'm cooking in it again because I don't have like a large stock pot to cook a large amount of potatoes at once. So I'm doing them in 2 batches. I could buy a stock pot, but I would only use it, once or twice a year. That's not worth it for me. We are minimalish when we ask ourselves, do we need it? Do we have a space for it? Will we use it often? So a stock pot is something, it's not where it's a handheld kitchen utensil that only comes out once or twice a year. That I could understand. A stock pot is fairly large. Do I have space for it? Yes. Do I need one? No. Could I use it? Yes. And will I use it often? No. So for me, I don't need a stock pot. I don't have one. So that's why I did my mashed potatoes in 2 batches. And I had time to make my mashed potatoes in 2 batches. So on the stove, I did gravy, mashed potatoes, and then I was working on some noodles that I saw online. I am not a big homemade noodle person. I don't care who makes them. Every time someone's like, I make the best noodles, like I try them, I still feel like they're very gummy. I don't know. I'm not big on it, or very floury or something. So I prefer like the bag of egg noodles because they seem fairly thin. They don't have that gummy consistency. So I found a recipe that uses egg noodles and just doctors them up, and I liked it a lot. So that's the one that I am doing for my noodles. And then here I am just making some bread bowls. I love this It's called garlic bread cheese dip. And I think her name is from Yellow Bliss Road, but I'll put the link below. It's my absolute favorite. My sister-in-law loves it a lot. So I make it all the time, but I've never made it in a bread bowl and I've always wanted to. So that's what I did. The only thing is, like, I didn't take advantage of it. Like, I should, when everyone had finished eating, I wish I would have eaten some of the bread from the bread bowl, but I didn't. I just threw away the bread bowls when we were done eating. Like, I feel like that was a missed opportunity. So I definitely need to make it again so I can eat the bread bowl. And then I made a compound butter for my bread to dip into the bread bowl. I like this spread that Walmart has. I'll have to look up the name of it, but it's so good. I get it all the time, except for some reason for Thanksgiving, like they were completely sold out. They had none. So I had to make my own spread. And then once I had finished making everything, I put it into containers for the food that was going to be like reheated in the oven. I put those into foil containers. My other stuff, like my garlic bread cheese dip, my compound butter, stuff like that, I used my glass containers that I have. This is how everyone should do a get together, a party, whatever, because it's so much more enjoyable when you have done all of your cleaning first and then you've got a day to bake and then you're done. It's just, it's so much more hectic, especially in your mind, when you go to cook and the house is a mess. You can feel it all bubbling up. It feels like you're more stressed. It feels like you're more exhausted when you're cooking because you know everything else waiting on you. If you haven't already seen my video on the timeline, go check that out because that will be really helpful for you moving forward in the future if you struggle with the timing of your parties. If you're really stressed out, if you've got a lot going on, you shouldn't. If you're hosting a party, right, you should never be stressed out no matter how many people you're hosting. Like, it should all flow really nicely. So check that out if you're having any troubles. And then as I was cooking, I was loading the dishwasher and running it as soon as I could because, like I said, I'm minimalist, so I'm reusing a lot of the same dishes. And that's part of my timing too. Like, I'll say, okay, I'll start this now because then I can stick it in the dishwasher, work on something else, come back and get that when the dishwasher's completed. Just always be mindful of these things. And that's stuff that you want to know ahead of time. You don't want to plan that out day of, like earlier in the week, be like, okay, this is when I'm going to do this. This is when I'm going to do that. Here, I'm just making my grandma's dirt pudding. I love this so much. We have it all the time. It's one of my favorites. It's like my go-to dessert because I've never found a soul that doesn't like dirt pudding. Not everyone might like a pecan or pumpkin pie, but everybody's going to like dirt pudding. Doesn't matter if you're 60 or 8, you still like a good dirt pudding. So that's what I made here. Made it right in foil pan so I could just toss it out when I was finished. I really don't feel like I was stressing throughout the day, like trying to rush around and get things done. I think everything was going in a pretty orderly fashion. But here's what I've got going. I've got stuff mixed up for the drinks so I can, pretty up everyone's cups when it's time to serve that sangria. And then I've got my bread bowls cut and cleaned out. Anything I can do ahead of time, I will. So like that's why the bread was all cut up. That's why the fruit was cut up. Here's more food that we're having. We've got our mashed potatoes, our noodles, our garlic bread cheese dip, our compound butter, our gravy, all the things. And then don't forget, I think I should have covered it in the last video, but make sure you got that clean fridge when you go to put all of your food in the fridge. You don't want to be competing for space for, leftovers from 5 nights ago, right? So, no, I sound crazy, but it's like a piece of art planning a party. The flow, starting everything at the right time, having the space you need in the fridge, having the dishes you need clean from the dishwasher. It's all just a big work of art if you can get everything to flow right. Once you do it a couple times, with the timeline that I talk about and stuff, you will start to see just how easy it is to plan a party. I'm telling you, it really makes you enjoy hosting so much more when everything is calm and everything flows nicely. Now, speaking of minimalish, I got the stand for the plates and the forks and everything. Was it necessary? Absolutely not. Will I use it often? I actually will. I probably will use this for every party. There was a spot for all of the utensils and the plates and the napkins. So you just walk by, grab what you need. You're not having to pick up a box and take out a fork. It helps the flow a lot better. I finished my night soaking in the tub because my joints had it. And then I was able to wake up the next morning. I think I got up at like 8 or so. I just got up whenever Zanny got up. Grayson, Zanny, and I just watched the parade in the morning. And then I had time. So I just made this cute little balloon arch thing for one of my cousins that was coming. It was her 5th birthday. So I just made her some balloons just so she felt, a little special on Thanksgiving. It's kind of hard, when everybody's got a million things going on. So just to be able to make her feel a little special made me feel good. So that's her little corner right there with her. That's where we had her take her pictures and stuff. And then I just set all of my food out in the morning. I set it out to kind of get closer to room temp before I warmed it up. It just helps with your warm up process if, you're not going straight from ice cold to hot. So I'm just letting everything sit for a bit, letting my bread sit for a minute. Like I said, doing things ahead of time, anything that you can do, like getting the bread hollowed out, makes things so much nicer, so much easier. This garlic bread, look at it. I forgot to do like a dip the bread in for the camera so you can see just how cheesy and gooey it is. Oh my gosh. I need to make it again soon for a video and then I'll show you, but it's amazing. If you're having a get together, make that and everyone will want it. My appetizers went off so well. They absolutely loved the dip. They loved I made some like creamy garlic shrimp. They loved that. Like I said, I'll put the recipes below, but I'm sorry, you just can't go wrong with cream and garlic. And that's like what both of those recipes are. Everyone loves it, It's perfect for the holidays. It's so decadent and almost like a guilty pleasure. So for my family, I made garlic bread cheese dip, some creamy garlic shrimp, gravy, and then the holiday sangria. That might have been it. And then for my in-laws, I made mashed potatoes, noodles, gravy, dirt pudding. And then my sister-in-law was bringing some rolls that she had warmed up, so I made like a honey butter for those as well. I'm sorry, but you cannot serve bread without honey butter. And it's literally just whipping butter and honey together. That's all you need to do. But trust me, it's like those little touches are what your guests appreciate and what people remember. And they're like, that person's such a good cook. It's probably those little touches that you're grabbing onto. And then, of course, a big part of entertaining is setup, display, and presentation. So I had already mapped out in my mind where all the food was going to go. So when people brought the food to my house, I knew, the protein was going here. I knew the hot stuff was going here, cold stuff here, etc. So I have like some mats that you lay out for the cold stuff to keep the cold stuff cold. And then I have electric mat, like a warming mat to keep the hot stuff hot. And let me tell you, both are so handy to have. Both did such a good job of keeping everything the right temperature. The warming mat, I had it like on 212. That was like the max setting because I just assumed it wouldn't actually reach that temperature. And I went to grab one of the pots and it almost burnt me. It was so hot. I was like, okay, I guess we should turn this down. So definitely if you get my warming mat, which I'll link all of that stuff below, but if you get my warming mat, just be careful because it is like extremely hot. And then my aunt and my mom helped me kind of like clean up after everyone left for the lunch. And so I didn't have a ton of cleanup to do, just clean the counters, start the dishes in the dishwasher. And then I was ready to work on supper, which I really had very little to do. We just took down the chairs. I might have ran the vacuum. I don't remember. And then I put a new tablecloth on the big table because that's where we were all going to sit. We could all fit there. And then I have this like rotating Lazy Susan, which I'm obsessed with. So you don't have to like pass dishes around. It's all right there in the middle and you just rotate to which one you're looking for. It's like whoever came up with that is a genius. It's so perfect. And then I just had to stick my food in the oven, because it was all in foil pans. So very little actual cleaning or cooking for me to do. And we just kind of chilled. We were, of course, ready before everyone got there. So that was another thing where I was just sitting around waiting for everyone to arrive. And then here's all of our food. It was all so delicious. I forgot to videotape Luke carving his turkey, and it looks so good. But I did take a couple pictures beforehand. So that's Luke's turkey there. I'm kicking myself that I didn't get more footage of it. He did such a good job. It was delicious. And then, like I said, my Lazy Susans, look how everything is running. I love it so much. It's so handy to have, and it breaks down to nothing, And then, after that Thanksgiving, I just had to wash dishes one more time, wipe down counters again, and we were done. It was a really successful Thanksgiving. Everything turned out so well. The food, the timing of everything was perfect. I wasn't exhausted like I thought I would be at all. So that was great. And yeah, that's what a holiday should be. It shouldn't be running around, feeling stressed, messy house. If you are intentional with it, you get your timing right, you get your planning right, it can be such a fun experience. And so many people think it's so stressful and they don't like doing it. Trust me, anyone can do this and make it stress-free. It's all about being intentional. This is our house at the end of the night. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the stuff. I don't know what my next video will be, so if you follow me on my other platforms, I will update you as soon as I figure it out. I don't know if I'm going to do multiple videos before Christmas, but I would like to do at least one video before Christmas. So we'll see. That might just be a reset video for the house, but I will let you guys know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.